Issa Diop today. Tomorrow I will be announcing the winner of yesterday's video for the Blowing Bubbles magazine. Then looking forward to giving one. I've got 4 more to give away. But I'll deal with that afterwards because we've got to discuss Issa Diop. Before I do, the kit, the 3rd kit has been announced. I thought it was a joke. Have you seen it? I mean, it looks like, not that I would know about such things, but it looks like an old dress that's been hung up in a second-hand shop. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's the sort of thing that when your kids on Halloween ask, can I have a bit of old rag to make a witch's outfit out of? You turn around and say, oh yeah, I've got something. It's an old shirt, or I don't know, your wife's old dress or something like that. Actually, to be fair, maybe that's why I get in trouble. I would give one of my wife's new dresses to the children to chop up and make a witch's hat. It's fine. What's the worst that could happen? But I cannot believe this. Surely this is, I mean, it can't be like that, can it? I understand they'll hang it on some model, or actually say a model, probably a player. Not a jetty, apparently. But I'll just hang the shirt on a player and it'll look, obviously not as nice as the shirt looks on me, but it'll fill it out a bit. But you've seen it, it's all sagging down and nasty. Don't like it at all. Anyway, as I say, probably look better in the flesh or on the flesh. So, Issa Diop. What are we going to do with Issa Diop? Well, I think first and foremost, we keep him, right? It's not even a question until you realise quite how skimp we might be. So if you watched a cup of tea last night, you'd have heard myself and Gio talking about what will happen with this jetty money. 4.5 million. Now, I actually think that 4.5 million is going to be spread over 5 years. So I think it'll be nothing like it, but it does bring some money in and get some wages off of the wage bill. But does it really do anything to assist David Moyes in his quest to recruit a player? No. Does David Moyes want to sell Declan Rice? No. Why would you? Nobody would want to sell Declan Rice at all. So what can David Moyes do that will inject some funds into the team but not decimate his midfield, which was looking quite promising? Well, the answer's Diop. I think we will regret, as I mentioned before, not taking the 60 million that we were offered. Would we get anything like that? Now, no. But I do think we'd get 25, 30 million for him. Have I overpriced him? I don't know. I think he's a really talented player. I really do. I don't really see the best from him. I think those sort of stellar, wonderful performances that you often get from centre-backs, you know, where they just win you the game. I think we'd have seen a lot more of those from Diop if he had a couple of decent fullbacks, particularly the one next to him. So I think if you got that, then you'd see him improve an awful lot. But he's a saleable asset. There's money there. And the temptation is clearly going to be to sell him, because Moyes will probably think, I can sell that player for 30 million quid, and then I can get me right back, and then I can also probably get another centre-back who will do the job. Possibly there'll even be a little bit more left over. If David Moyes certainly thinks he gets rid of Diop and he can basically buy a replacement centre-back and 2 other positions, he'll do it, right, wouldn't he? So the question is, will a club come in for him? Well, we know that Jose Mourinho's coveted him for quite some time, but Tottenham are skint. Tottenham don't have that sort of money. I think the fact that they've gone and bought Højbjerg and tried to really sort of haggle it down and offer Carl Walker-Peters, I know they were officially 2 separate transfer deals. But let's be fair, there was some haggling that went on before those 2 separate transfer deals were done. Somebody was certainly saying, well, hold on, Højbjerg's this much, and then we will value Carl Walker-Peters at this much, and they come to a deal. But quite clearly, they've taken a massive loan from the government. They had to furlough some of the staff. Tottenham have got this whopping great stadium, 60,000 capacity, same as us. Well, same as us, same capacity. They've got a good stadium. We don't have a good stadium. But they can't fill it, and so much of their model, their income stream was very much based on them bringing in massive amounts through the gates, but also I think it was going to be something like 800,000 a game in corporate hospitality. Well, that's a massive number. That is absolutely massive when you basically calculate that until from, for a whole season of home games. And then you take that away from your budget. So Tottenham, the club that were most likely to buy Diop, can't afford him. The next club most likely to buy Diop, Man United, again, I can't quite see it happening. So Is anybody who come on with 30 million? I just don't think so. So I think he's staying. I think Moyes would sell him, but I think he stays. So what do we get if he does stay? Well, we've got a leader. He was captain of Toulouse when he was 19. I think we've got a future French international. I absolutely 100% think that. He's building a wonderful partnership with Angelo Ogbonna. Really is. And I spoke about Ogbonna's age in the Ogbonna video. But there's no reason why that can't continue for another 2, 3, 4 years. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. And I think if you give him that good right back outside of him, it makes him able to hold his position. He doesn't have to constantly drift out there. And then it just makes him and the team and the defensive structure a lot more solid. I think hopefully from that we can look to start building something. But I've got to be honest with you, you've caught me in a funny old mood today, because I can't quite shift from the mindset that West Ham are absolutely skint. And it's hard to look at anything other than that. And I know I was sort of drifting, and it should really just be talking about Diop. But the whole thing with the money not going to Frankfurt is a massive issue. And then you look at the fact we're getting a payday loan as well. And whilst I want to sit here and be positive about how the team might look next season, I can't help but think, well, maybe we don't bring anyone in. Well, maybe bring one player in. And I know earlier on in the season I did the whole video about I don't think we'll do much business. I think we'll inherently have the same team as we had last season. And I still believe that. But I think now it just feels more depressing than it did before. But they've got to sort that out. They've got to sort out that back line. And a massive part of that is Diop staying. Diop, Ogbonna, Johnson. What you're going to do, you better bring in a really good right back or a left back. And I'll tell you what, they should thank their lucky stars for Ben Johnson, because he's going to allow you to only have to deal with one, because he's flexible, can play on the right or the left-hand side. Issa Diop, I think if we can start to push forward, if we can start to gain some confidence, then he will start to grow as a player. But as he starts to grow as a player, if West Ham don't grow as a club, we're going to lose him later on anyway. And in fact, that would be my worry with any of these players. They're only going to stay around in a struggling team for so long, because whilst we might talk about it being our decision to sell Diop, we'll get rid of Diop when we want, when it suits us. Well, it ain't always like that in football. We may well end up getting rid of Diop. See that? See it? I wasn't waving at you. That was the little midgy thing. We may well end up getting rid of Diop when it suits Diop. And whilst he doesn't seem like the one to throw his toys out the pram and all the rest of it, he seems settled. His best mate in the club is Masuaku, which is a little bit of a worry if we want to move Masuaku on. Does that upset the apple cart? But then, in fact, the Masuaku video is probably going to be a little bit more interesting than this one. Diop, in short, I think we're keeping him. Does Moyes want to keep him? Yes. But he would be tempted to sell him.